Hey, everybody, this is Lorraine.
And Jennifer,
What if I told you that you had to be creative in the next 5 minutes?
creativity's not on a time clock, Lorraine.
Absolutely. I think as people try to come up with content, that's one of the things that they forget. They think that it's another task, it's like accounting. I have to balance my checkbook. I can do it. I'm just going to muscle through and get it done. And creating content doesn't really work that way.
No. Ideas come to you maybe when you're taking a walk, when you're in the shower, when you're sitting on the couch. And, when you work from home, like I do, then that can actually sometimes be a bad thing because it's like, oh, I have an idea and I need to get out and go in the office and go get it done. And I actually will, which
See,
I think is a good thing. But
well, I think one of the things, and we did this when, because we had the building, is when an idea struck, I didn't stop everything I was doing to work on that idea. I wrote it down. I put it on a
yeah,
post-it.
I
And
put it in my project management system. I have a strategy and I come up with it later, like develop it, but I try not to lose the idea right
and
there.
that's the first thing, is to have that repository, because coming up with content on a regular basis can be really challenging. And so if you have a way of capturing random ideas and collecting them, then when you're ready, when you're in the right mindset and you're like, okay, I've got an hour, what do I want to work on? There it is.
Yeah, you've got like a whole list of like different things to do. Because when it's in the moment and in the spot, two things like it's uncomfortable in the spot to come up with it right there, but thinking differently in order to be creative, because creativity at the heart of it for me is about doing things that are uncomfortable and are outside of potentially your comfort zone, especially in marketing, because I have to put myself inside of a buyer that I might not be. And I have to understand who that buyer is and get to their buyer persona. And that's a little uncomfortable, but once you start doing it, then you really start to understand them.
One of the things that I do, and it has to do a lot with how I process information. I'm high auditory. So a lot of times when I'm working on content for that customer I don't know, I have an imaginary conversation with them in my head. And I ask them questions, or I say it out loud.
Yeah.
And then I answer the question the way I think they're going to answer it. And I just let the conversation go wherever it goes.
Yep.
I also, if I have a good idea and I'm driving or I'm out for a walk, I love the recording app
Yeah.
on my iPhone, and I just turn it on and I talk and I do stream of consciousness stuff. And
Yep.
if there's let's say I had an idea for a blog post and I go to sit down and work on it and I'm just stuck, I let it go. And then I go out for a walk and then I just start talking about it.
Yep.
And the ideas are random, they're unstructured, the order is terrible, but the information is there. And then I can transcribe it or just listen to it again and go, oh, there's my hook. There's my piece of content.
So, two thoughts on that. Have you ever used the ChatGPT app and had a conversation with it in order to come up with ideas? That's fun.
I've only done that once, but going to ChatGPT and saying, hey, you are a 50-year-old woman, you work part-time, you're having some health issues, and you are considering hiring X. And that's what I do. What questions do you have for me?
Yep. Yep.
And letting that conversation go where it goes. And it might get off track and some of it might be wackadoodle, but there's a lot of good information that'll come back at you that maybe you wouldn't have thought of.
So one thing, with AI that is going to make someone like you stellar is because you haven't lost that art form to create and to come up with creativity. And really, the way I'm seeing it right now, AI is just a repetition of what has already been said. The
Mhm.
true artist is the one that can come up with something that nobody else has said.
Absolutely. So getting AI to ask you questions, using AI and its information to come up with the questions, and then you write the answers. It's going to put those answers in your voice, in your style, and it's going to be something that nobody else can write. And it is a good balance. I also really love transcribing audio files into ChatGPT and then asking ChatGPT to summarize, to rewrite it, give me a summary, pull out the talking points, but don't lose my style, don't lose my voice.
Yep.
And that is incredibly valuable
Yep.
because it short circuits. I can go from these videos to clips to a blog post to social media shares in rapid fire, but it's all based on original content.
Yes. And, when creativity, you need that extra space, that's where AI can help save that time so that you can have that creativity, not to be a repetitive of other people. Um,
Absolutely. And when you start with that original content, that original interview, random thought that you've recorded, ChatGPT is not building on all the crap it found on the internet. It's building on what you originally had to say.
all of my blog posts come from my podcast or these shows that I'm giving my thoughts on a particular subject, and then it's creating the content out of that. So that is original. It understands my brand, it understands my tone, my style, and it does a pretty good job because I really don't like to write as much as you guys might see me write. I don't like to write.
Yeah, okay. So, full confession, I mean, I earned a living writing before ChatGPT, but it was never my strong suit. And so, a lot of the cheats or workarounds that I developed now having ChatGPT to supplement
Yeah.
is loads of fun.
Yeah.
But ChatGPT is not the only way to kickstart your creativity.
No.
When you are absolutely stuck, I always encourage people to go visit alien cultures. Go to companies that have nothing to do. I mean, one of the advantages of owning an agency with lots of clients is we got to do this on a regular basis. But if you are a business owner and you spend all day in your business, call up one of your networking buddies and say, "Hey,
Get a
can
different
I
thing.
can I just come visit? Can I come tour your office?
Yep.
Can we have a cup of coffee and tell me about how your business works?" And
Yep.
even if it has nothing to do with you, you'd be amazed at the
Yeah.
things that'll pop
It's
out in the
a different
conversation.
space. Like that's why I live in nature. I love nature. So if I can go walk around the yard,
Mhm.
take a little bit of breather, as much as it like really is hard for me to do, I know that it's going to make it better. I mean, there's such an emotional investment in being creative, and you've got to have that energy to do it.
Absolutely. And you've got to be able to give yourself permission to say, "I'm not feeling it at this moment." And in order to do that, you
Yeah.
have to work ahead. You cannot wait till the last minute, because unless you are a really good writer or a really good designer, you're going to fall flat.
Yeah, yeah. Time of day matters. I'm the 4 a.m. club like a psychopath. But 4 a.m., I love that time. I get so much done. I'm so creative. But if you contact me around 2 or 3 o'clock, I'm going to be like, what are we talking about?
You know what? You got to know your rhythm. I actually have become much more of an early person, not 4, but you can find me sitting at my computer at 6 a.m. and doing really creative work. And mid-afternoon, I'm out talking to people because I just can't anymore. All right. If you are looking for more ideas on how to be creative with your content, reach out to Jen and I. We would love to chat with you.
And the video will tell you how to get a hold of us. All right. Take care.
Bye now.